Hello, welcome to the United Adventure Front. I have started doing some vlogs just about cycling things that I like to do, like going on trips and just some basic bike maintenance. Full disclosure, I am pretty shit at doing bike maintenance stuff, but I've been trying to learn as I go along, so this is kind of what that is. Recently I broke a spoke on my back wheel and I had no idea what to do, and I realised that I had to actually take the cassette off to be able to fix it. The tools I needed were this, which hooks onto the lock ring on the cassette, a big giant spanner which actually gives you the leverage to be able to loosen it, and a chain whip which you can see is baggaged up because I actually broke it when I was trying to make this vlog. The lock ring is this mad bit here, and to loosen it you go lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, but the problem is when you go like that, it's obviously just going to spin round because it's a freewheel hub, I think. So the chain whip basically lets you hold the cassette, the lock ring tool sits on it, and then the spanner lets you actually go onto the lock ring thing, and you push down together very awkwardly and you hear the big noise, and then it's actually like released. The issue is if you want to take these tools with you, it's a bit of a pain in the arse because they're so heavy, and the likelihood that you're going to break a spoke and you're going to have to repair it on the road isn't that high, but it does happen. It did actually happen to me recently, and when I put it back together I way over tightened it. I was actually trying to make this tutorial vlog thing a couple of weeks ago and I just could not use the tool which I'm about to show you. It was very embarrassing. I actually broke my chain whip, it sort of exploded. Anyway, moving on swiftly, this is the tool that will solve all my problems. It's basically the same as this, so it fits onto a Shimano cassette. It uses this little nifty piece that hits against the frame of your bike when you move your wheel and holds the lock ring, and you can either loosen it or tighten it whatever direction you're going in. And I'm going to show you how I do this, but it's so simple, it's super cheap, and it's actually cheaper than the spanner that I got from Park Tool, and it's made by some inventors in Amsterdam, I think, or in the Netherlands. So now basically instead of carrying these three things, I can just take this. And I don't need this anymore because it's broken anyway. I'm gonna loosen the quick release that holds the wheel in place. I've already released my brake so I can lift the wheel out without it touching the brake pads. So this is a tool, I want to put this onto here. Super simple, just lift it up, put it on like so, and then drop it back in and it'll just slot in there. It's actually not flush between the cassette and the frame, so it's really important to do that, otherwise when you try and move the wheel it's not going to work properly. So you need to just put this on and make sure it's extremely tight, or as tight as you can get it, and that'll sort it, that'll make it dead flush. So the tool's now in place and it's all locked up and like really tight, so when I move the wheel it should just use the frame of the bike to actually release the cassette lock ring. So in order to do that you need to sort of move the pedals and move the chain in the direction of travel. It can be a bit awkward as you can see, but it should hopefully work and make that noise. Okay, so now I've obviously taken off the wheel, and the tool just comes off, and as you can see it's released the lock ring. And I'm trying to put my fingers here to stop the cassette from turning around even more, but the lock ring is now removable by hand. So I've cleaned everything, I'm just getting ready to put the wheel and the bike back together again. I just need to tighten back the lock ring. So to do that I'm going to do the opposite thing and move the wheel backwards. It's really important to make sure that you don't over tighten it, just because it can then be really difficult to get off and you need to do all sorts of crazy things to release it. that noise, that crazy noise, is just the lock ring tightening up and going against the ratchets, or I don't know, something like that. And this is also just a quick shout out to my favourite bike mechanic, George from West End Cycles down near Parish Road in Glasgow. He always gets me out of any sticky situations. He showed me how to do lots of cool things to fix my bike, but most importantly, he managed to untighten my lock ring when I way overdid it. The instructions for this little thing talks about ham-fisted mechanics over tightening your lock ring. I was such a ham-fisted non-mechanic who did this, so thank you, George, for getting me out of that situation. So, I'm all done. It's looking pretty shiny, but not, well, it's not perfect, and it's gonna get totally dirty the next time I go out cycling because I live in Scotland and it rains all the time and it just gets greasy as very quickly. But yeah, this guy, Next Best Thing 2 tool, highly recommend it. It is saving me so much weight when I go out cycling because I like to take all my tools with me, for better or for worse. But it works. It's a bit awkward to use, to be honest. However, I feel like I'm kind of getting the hang of it. And again, look at the size of this thing. It's freaking tiny. So it's gonna save me a lot of, I don't know, weight. It means I can take different stuff when I go on bigger tours. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I should be doing some more vlog pieces like this. I've got some other older videos on the channel of when I've been on some cycling trips with my good pal Johnny, so check them out and please like and subscribe. It's a big fucking huge hammer. It's not a hammer, it's a spanner. And then a big giant hammer, spanner. And then this big giant freaking hammer that, this isn't a hammer. I'm gonna not, so, a spanner. Fucking hell.